It is World Prematurity Day on November 17th. Preemies or prem babies have long been regarded as special human beings. Every year, around 15 million of them are born preterm. That's 1 in every 10 babies. Sadly, not all of them survive. But here's the story of one who did and defied all the odds.
That day was the 21st of September 1988. I was 6 months pregnant. I only discovered when I was 4 months that I was actually pregnant, and so I had this funny feeling. And when I went to the bathroom, I saw that I started bleeding, and then I was rushed immediately to hospital. At that time, I was taken to Groote Hospital because there was no MOUs around at that time. And when I arrived at Groote Hospital, they said to me that I'm in labor and baby's coming. And the fact that baby's coming, it's very early and they can't guarantee anything. Very scary, unknown space, unknown place. My mom wasn't with me. My mom was having her hysterectomy also at Groote Hospital. And I was extremely scared. I was afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of what could have happened. But as I went into the labor ward, they pushed me in, and that was around about 10 o'clock in the morning. And in the morning of the 21st of September, at 20 to 1, I gave birth to Natasha. She was just over a kilogram. Doctors told me that she was not going to live very long. Her lungs were not fully developed. We'll take it day by day. She got older. She was in the hospital for 2 months, and she was released after 2 months, 2.5 months, at weighing 2 kilograms, just over 2.1 kilograms. And the doctor said she's going to have a learning disability. She might have developed a hearing problem. They suspect all kinds of things. They said to me that my daughter is going to be, in the olden days, they would use the word retarded because it was in the apartheid era. And I said, that's whatever you say, I don't believe in that report. I know that I've prayed, and I know that I've God, and I know that I have faith in God. And it was different when she went to university. They told her that she was not accepted at the university, and then I spoken to them and I said, no, you have to accept her. And then the humanities faculty at UWC accepted her, and when she started off, she was on the Dean's merit list because of her grades. And today she's 34 years old. She has her own son, which was also born prematured. And through that process of her being prematured, it made me more aware, more cognizant about the world, the way we live, because of the nature of my profession as a social worker, that I would always encourage people to be healthy in their pregnancy. Make sure that you don't smoke or drink. Make sure that you don't use any toxic alcohol or toxins or anything that can harm your baby and your body, because it's very important. Because if we're ignorant, we need to be educated around these things.
For me, I just figured I was a normal kid because I was around playing with my cousins, doing me, just being me. My granny always used to say, every year on my birthday, she'll tell me the story. So she's like, they said you weren't going to live through the night. They said you weren't going to be able to breathe on your own, that you'd be living on oxygen if you survived. They said you wouldn't be able to walk. They said you wouldn't be able to talk. They said you wouldn't be able to read. You'd be able to do nothing. You'd just be an invalid if we were lucky enough to have you alive. And then she's like, but with God, everything is possible. And she's like, I prayed for you all the time in that hospital. I prayed and prayed until the day they said you can come home. In my younger, I think in early 20s, then I was so upset about these doctors telling me all the time, you're not going to be able to have kids. I started saying, I don't want kids. So I was telling everyone, I don't want to be married. I don't want kids. I'm fine with being just me and having this career and doing me, basically, just living my life. So I decided during the pandemic, I'm not going to mope around. I am going to buy a house. And then, yes, I went out searching for a house, found a house, got the house. I moved in, I think I was there for 2 months. Then last year, then I found out I was pregnant. I was extremely overwhelmed. I can't even explain to you the mix of emotions. Even now, like every day when I look at Caleb, I'm filled with so much happiness and joy, but just so much gratitude. It really is the best thing. The moment I found out I was pregnant, because I was like, because the doctor said your body just won't be able to accommodate pregnancy. Not your size, not your shape, not anything. You are too petite, and there can be a lot of complications with just birthing. He's 7 months now. He's a very tall baby. He didn't weigh 2.5 when he was born. He weighed just under 3 kilos, 2.9. It's so weird. So Caleb also has this prematurity thing, but his doctor says it's just a smidge of prematurity. So for the last 10 years, I've been working as the production and editorial coordinator in the media and marketing office at the University of the Western Cape. From being told that I would never be able to read or write, I actually now do those things for a living. So I coordinate the university's corporate publications, and it's a lot of fun. There's never a day that's the same as the one before.
And here's another incredible preemie story, another miracle. UWC student and young father Morne Hayes recalls the day his life changed forever.
Okay, so while it was an ordinary day in April 2019, myself and my wife went for a check-up at the gynecologist as she was 32 weeks pregnant. When we arrived there, the doctor did a scan and also discovered that there was some glucose in her urine. The doctor immediately told her that she needed to go up to maternity ward. They kept her in the hospital for the Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday. By the Sunday, they phoned me to inform me that while they were doing their checks, they didn't find any heartbeat from baby. So what they did was they phoned me and I went in immediately. When I got there, obviously I was panicking. I was in a terrible state and a lot went through my mind. And they immediately rushed her into the theater where they asked me as well to get ready for, they're going to take or do a C-section. They then performed the C-section and informed us just before they did the C-section that the baby did not make it at all. So while they were busy with the C-section, I actually spoken to my wife and she told me to relax because if this was part of God's plan, then so be it. When the C-section was done and they took the baby out, the baby immediately screamed. And that was something that we did not expect, as well something that the doctors did not expect. So they rushed the baby to the NICU and they asked me to follow. I was sitting in the waiting room while they do the checks and performs CPR and whatever they did. They then discovered that the baby was actually well and breathing. It was something that my wife and I could not believe at that point, but also became aware that God has been faithful. So my daughter is well at this point. She's 3 years of age, alive and kicking like any normal toddler would be.
Welcome back. World Prematurity Day is still very much in sharp focus here on UWC On Air. Here's Professor Karen Minnie. She's from our Community Health and Sciences faculty talking about the advances made with regards to neonatal care and prematurity, and also the new course on offer at the university for advanced midwifery.
Prematurity is really unfortunate, and it affects about 1 out of every 10 births, so it's quite a large population, but many of them are not very immature, so they can be helped with rather low-tech strategies like skin-to-skin care for the mother to keep warm, breastfeeding instead of drips. But the very small ones need very specialized care, that they need to be nursed sometimes for many weeks or even months in a neonatal ICU, NICU. And there's lots of advances in that, and it's really a very specialized field.
120. Did you feel it?
Our students, that's midwifery, that's part of their work, are to look after small babies also, but they're not intensive care nurses specifically. So they do touch on some of those things, but it will be things like how to assist the baby to be as close as possible to a baby that's still in utero. So it's things like how to position the baby, how to keep the baby warm, how to ensure that the baby gets enough fluid, how to recognize if there's any problems. It's a postgraduate diploma in midwifery, but it's for people that's already midwives. And so it's a postgraduate also, so they already got a degree. So after this, they can be registered as specialist midwives at the South African Nursing Council.